Hi, everyone, and welcome to our series of IPL team previews. In this one, we'll be previewing the Delhi Capitals, one of the team's nearly men over the last few seasons, finalists since 2020, blew a chance of making the playoffs last season with a loss to the bottom place Mumbai Indians in the end. This season will be out without Rishabh Pant, so we'll see how they fare. I'm here to discuss the Delhi Capitals, the preview of the franchise ahead of the season with my co-host Nash. Nash, your initial thoughts on the Capitals? What do you reckon?
I think not having, it goes without saying, not having Rishabh Pant was a massive, massive blow.
Yep.
They have got good youngsters in there in the entire squad. You got Yash Dhul, you got Kamlesh Nagakoti,
Yep.
Aman Khan. I think
Agree with that.
Mukesh Kumar is injured as well. He's out. But I think they have got a good mix of youngsters and experience with Ishant Sharma there as well in the squad. Mustafizur Rahman, Ngidi, as the South African, and Marsh Warner, who have been around the scene for a while. So I think they've got a good mix of bowlers, all rounders, and batters. But I think it'll be interesting to see how they sort of gel together over the course of the season. What do you think?
Yeah, my initial thoughts, I'm like, are they going to be too reliant on the top order for runs? I look at, do they have the finishing capabilities that the other teams possess? So that's a question that I've got.
But
But
I
they've
think you
also
could
got
say that.
Riley
Sorry,
Rousseau.
you could say the same about CSK as well with MS Dhoni being there, and he hasn't done the job
Yeah, yeah. I
pretty
mean,
well for the
you got
last few.
Moeen, you got Moeen and
Yep.
Jadeja in there too. That I think can offer very very good
Yep.
impact. But yeah, I agree with you regarding that. But I look at sort of if I look at the possible playing 11 for Delhi, this is what I've got. I've got Warner, Prithvi Shaw, Mitch Marsh as my top three. Marsh was in terrific form in the Australia series in
Yep.
India recently. Manish Pandey at four. Rovman Powell at five. Now, this is interesting because you've got to have a keeper there. And I think, is it going to be Sarfaraz Khan who keeps? I don't know. Is there another specialist keeper in the squad? You might know more than me on that one. With Rishabh Pant not there, that's a question that they've got to get right. Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, Enrique or Norkia won't be available for the first game, but he'll be in my overall team throughout the tournament. I've got Sikaria there and Khalil Ahmed. I think Khalil Ahmed's a wicket taking option there for them. Um, but as mentioned, they've got some good options in that squad, in that seam attack, which I think is a strength of theirs. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a headache for the first game with Nokia not there, but I think it's
Mm.
going to be interesting to see who they go with as the wicket keeper because obviously they
There's Phil
don't.
Salt there, but
Yeah,
who are you going to
exactly.
drop as an overseas option?
Exactly, because they don't have an Indian wicket
Mm.
keeper by the looks of it. So
Mm.
my playing 11 would have been Warner, Shaw, Mitch Marsh, uh, Surface Khan slash Manish Pandey. But I think they'll start with Manish Pandey as the experienced batter. Um,
Mm.
I initially had Rovman Powell, but I think they will go with Phil Salt as the wicketkeeper batsman because he will provide that wicketkeeper, obviously
Mm.
specialist wicketkeeper. So he will provide that in the middle order, and then Lalit Yadav and Akshar Patel as the all rounders,
Yeah.
and then Kuldeep Yadav, Khalil Ahmed, Chetan Sakaria, and Mustafizur Rahman to start as the
Yeah,
bowlers.
Rahman, because Nokia won't be
Yep.
available.
And
Um,
and then obviously once Nokia comes back, Rahman might sort of
yes,
sit out.
yeah. Is leaving Rovman Powell, given what he's been doing in South Africa now, is that too big a risk? Because I think a lot rests on him for finishing.
I'll counter question that with, is that the bigger risk, or is not having a specialist keeper and having, let's say,
Fair
Sarfaraz
question.
Khan as the keeper a bigger risk?
That's a fair
Because
question.
a miss stumping or a missed chance here and there,
Mm.
and I think that could cost them a game.
Particularly at the Feroz Kotla, where spin is going to play a key role there, you'd
Yep.
feel. So that's a fair point. Yeah, I mean, if they're not playing Rovman Powell, then I really worry about their power in the middle. I mean, Phil Salt's a good player, but he's predominantly top order.
Yep. But
Rovman Powell is a
obviously
specialist middle.
Warner, Marsh, and Nokia won't be sitting out.
That's right. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no,
They could
agreed. It's got to be one of them.
they could very well go with all Indian bowling attack when they could pick like someone like a Kamlesh Nagarkoti, and then
Yeah,
pick that gives them an option to sit Sarfaraz Khan out altogether or even Lalit Yadav altogether, and
they've also
play
got Riley Rousseau in the squad there too.
exactly
They could turn
exactly
to. He's a gun. So look, they've got options there, but I think they're gonna have to leave a really good overseas player out
Yep.
to make sure that they cover that middle order where that's a bit of a problem for me.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see because they haven't got that domestic keeper, the
Yep.
specialist. That's a tough one to overcome with the makeup of this squad, where you've got two guns in the top three that are overseas. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Um, any particular strengths that you see? We touched on a couple of the weaknesses there.
I think the captaincy, and the Australian powerhouse Mitchell Marsh and David Warner there. I think that's the biggest strength that I can see.
I think also you could
Obviously,
see the Prithvi Shaw up there
yeah,
too with David
yeah,
Warner.
yeah. I
That's
was
a
just going to
massive
say that,
strength.
couple
Mm,
that those top three with Ricky Ponting, I think that's going to be huge for Delhi Capitals.
mm.
Um, if David Warner, Prithvi Shaw, and Mitchell Marsh click, I think they could chase down any target in their
They
sights,
can.
and no target
They
is
can.
is big enough for them. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do. I think Ricky Ponting has already promised that it's going to be a big season for Prithvi Shaw. He's raring to go. That'll be interesting to see whether he sort of gets back into the Indian lineup as well. So it'll be interesting. It'll be exciting to watch Akshar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav as well. Coming off a fresh Akshar Patel of the Test series where he, did the job as the batter. And then sorry to remind you again, but
Don't remind
uh,
me. Yeah.
and then obviously Kuldeep Yadav, we all know can be
Yeah,
can be
that's a key
damaging at
strength that
times.
I've got. That's the key strength that I've got. Kuldeep Yadav's resurgence. He's bowling really well, and I thought he bowled very well at times last season too. So I think him at Delhi is going to be a big plus for the Capitals. Um, a question for you before we go into our predictions and our verdict: if that top three has an off day, is there enough runs in the rest of the Capitals lineup to sort of muster something or chase something down?
Look, I think it depends. Sorry, it depends who they play. If Rovman Powell does play indeed, I think that can prove to be really valuable for them.
Yeah,
He can be that powerhouse hitter, and
yeah,
it all depends on whether they go with Sarfaraz Khan and Manish Pandey as well.
yeah,
Manish
yeah,
Pandey, the more established of the two. Sarfaraz Khan, obviously the youngster in form, coming off a massive domestic season as well.
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see who they go with because I think that's what that will depend on.
What's your verdict? What do you think they'll finish?
Um, Number four, I think they'll
Oh,
finish
so you got to make in the
fourth.
playoffs.
Yeah, I think they'll finish fourth only because of that top three. I think that's going to be really massive, and I think they're going to win a lot of games for Delhi this year.
Definitely possible. I think I've got them missing personally, um, just because there's too many questions about the makeup of the team. That's what I've got. Again, like CSK that we've discussed previously, if they do make it, it's not a surprise. I think if any team makes it, it's not a surprise. They're all very good in their own right. But I think if you're relying a lot on your top three in a 14 game season when there's 9 other very capable teams, that's a risk for me. But that's not to say that they can't do it. As you've said, you've pointed out some very good strengths that they've got, and I think they've got wicket taking options in their pace attack that some other teams don't have.
Yep.
So yeah, I've got them finishing 7, just
Seven.
outside. So just maybe a couple of points, 1 or 2 wins outside the 4. Um, yeah, I just worry about the finishing, maybe that the firepower that some of the other teams possess. Delhi don't quite have it, but I could easily be proven wrong. That's the beauty of it. We'll see what happens.
All right, so that's the roundup of our Delhi review, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes. And you know, really good headache for them as well with the selection. Sorry, a bad headache for them with Nokia not there for the first game, and
Yes.
really interesting to see how Ricky Ponting and Ganguly go for Delhi Capital this year. Stay tuned. Keep watching our team reviews for IPL 2023. With my co-host Charbel. Take care. Stay safe.